After an illustrious 13 years in Chicago, Brian Urlacher and the Chicago Bears are parting ways. Urlacher was quoted as saying today that he was insulted by the Bears' offer of $2 million over 1 year. He doesn't feel that what he puts his body through is worth that dollar amount. It remains to be seen whether another team will offer him that much money, but he will probably take it, as Wes Welker took less from the Broncos. What happens are these veterans that put their bodies through hell for their career, they feel as if the teams are disloyal to them at the end, but that's the cutthroat nature of the NFL. There's a salary cap, and the teams have a expectation by the fans to put the best product on the field. So a casualty in football becomes your age. The average NFL career is only 3 to 4 years. So when a guy could play 13 years, you've got to put things into perspective and not take it so personally. However, he's only human. I can remember when Brian Dawkins left the Eagles. He could have come back for less. He was insulted. He went to Denver, and that actually backfired on the Birds because the Eagles' defense went downhill when they didn't have those intangibles in the locker room. Brian Dawkins, though his play was declining toward the end, he provided much needed leadership, which was obviously missing when he left Philadelphia. The same thing with Chicago. Will their locker room suffer with the departure of Brian Urlacher, whose leadership skills were unquestioned? In fact, he led the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl in 2006, only to lose to Peyton Manning and the Colts that year. And since then, they've won more than they've lost, especially when Urlacher was in the lineup. But that's the problem. He's been often injured, and he misses a lot of time. He's also obviously not the same player, because what made him special, he wasn't just a good hitter and tackler, but Urlacher was a very fast, almost freakishly fast player for that position. When he came into the league, he was intercepting the ball and running it back to the house. He was running down running backs from behind. He was a freak, and he became a little more ordinary in recent years. Obviously, he gave his body to the game, as most players do when they last 13 years. So Urlacher and the Bears will be no longer, unless some miracle arises over the next couple of days. I don't see that happening. In other NFL free agency news, you've got Ed Reed of the Baltimore Ravens. It's been widely reported over the last few days that the Texans were offering him a contract. Now, I've made videos before prematurely, so I held back, but now it's been announced to the team by Ed Reed that he will sign with Housten. His name isn't signed on the dotted line. They're probably just working out the details, but he's informed the Ravens he won't be returning. So obviously they made him an offer that wasn't sufficient. These guys expect to get $6 million, where more realistically they're going to get a couple million, maybe $3 million. So Reed will help shore up the defense for Housten, who's ready to take that next step in the playoffs. They've made it past the Bengals the last few years, but haven't been able to get past the Ravens. Had they? Who knows, maybe it would have been them in the Super Bowl. I don't like Housten's quarterback, Matt Schaub, but maybe with a better defense, he'll have more opportunities to score. And Ed Reed surely is Johnny on the spot, and even as an older guy, seems to create turnovers for the defense. So there you have it. Ed Reed is going to the Houston Texans, and Brian Urlacher's future in the NFL is uncertain. Will he land with another team? Will he retire as a Chicago Bear? We'll find out.